All right. All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We are here to do Ignite session 1 with prospecting. And I'm going to warn you in advance, this is my first class and I'm not super tech friendly. So if it gets crazy, just bear with me. Anyway, we are going to start. And if I could have everybody's on camera, that would be awesome. And let's start, I'll just start, let you guys know my name's Jalay Gunn. I've been with Keller Williams for about a year and a half now. I've been licensed for about 10 years, been full-time for 4, and really, I'm just so in love with Keller Williams and the way they do business, their systems, their models. It just kind of gives me that path to work on. And that's why I'm so excited to share this part with you guys. Who here is been in real estate less than a year?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some newbies, nice. And how about less than 5 years? All right, anybody over 5 years? Okay, cool. All righty. So what we're going to do today is kind of just go through some prospecting, different systems and models that we have through Keller Williams, different ideas. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. I would love some participation on your guys' part, ideas, anything that you guys, this class is for you. So if you need something, if you want something, just raise your little hand thing and I'll try to get to you. Let's see. The script, now do you guys all have your Ignite little book? Did you guys, perfect, yeah, that's it. Okay, so we're gonna follow this pretty good. And did you guys also get the scripts? There was a scripts book that was enclosed also. Okay, great. What we're gonna do is probably after about an hour, we're going to break up into groups, into rooms, and you guys will start practicing dialogues. I'll let you guys figure out which dialogue you guys want to do with each other, and this will help, really help with what you're trying to do in prospecting. And I highly suggest, if you don't already, have a scripts partner. I have 4 of us, and we get together on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 8:30. And we have scripts that we've probably gone over about 12 times, 15 times, and it becomes second nature. So when we're making those phone calls, running into someone at the store, or calling to touch base with someone, you have a dialogue already in your head, and it becomes second nature. So that's going to be really fun to do. All right, if you guys each want to just pop on, I'll start with maybe Ashley. Ashley, why don't you let me know your name and how long you've been in the business, what offices you're at, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Ashley Hall. I am just over my 60 days here with Keller Williams, and I'm on the My Puget Sound Homes team here at the Federal Way Market Center.
Nice. So welcome. Heather?
Thank you.
I'm Heather. I've been with Keller Williams for about 3 months and been licensed for about that long too. And I'm independent agent.
Nice, nice. Well, welcome aboard. Amanda.
I'm Amanda. I'm part of the Integrity Home Selling team at Keller Williams Puget Sound, and I'm just about over 2 months, maybe 2.5 months at this point.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Right on. Well, welcome aboard. Laura.
Hi, so I'm about a month and a half solo agent, and Vicki Chenoweth is my mentor and has been very helpful for me. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And then, hey, I don't have any of my scripts on me, but I can print some out really quick. So which script should I have for today?
It's just the booklet. It's called Scripts, and anything, you can pull it up onto your computer too. Like if you're there, you can pull it up and read from there.
All right, thank you.
And yeah, and also I was going to tell you guys too, if there's something that you want to talk about with someone and do a dialogue on, just start fresh. All right, let's go to Morgan.
I'm Morgan. I'm a solo agent. I work at the Federal Way office, and I've been there for only a few weeks now, since the beginning of January.
Oh, exciting. Starting fresh. Well, welcome aboard. Let's go to Joshua.
Hey, I'm Joshua. I've been an agent for about 3 months, and I'm out at the Puget Sound office.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm at the Mountains to Sound office, so none of you guys are there yet. All right, what about Christopher Wood?
You're gonna have to skip me for a second. I'm getting yelled at.
Okay. All right, Kevin?
I'm Kevin. I'm across from Chris, so I can hear him getting yelled at.
Are you yelling at him, Kevin?
With the My Puget Sound Homes team office in Federal Way. Been agent about 6 months.
Nice.
And second time doing Ignite. Like it.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. How about Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan. I'm with the Federal Way office as well, but I live in Everett, so a little FYI. I've been an agent about 3 months.
Well, welcome aboard. All right, Youngkoop. Turn off your mute button. There you go.
Hi, this is Junko, and actually my husband also here, but he's in another call right now.
Okay, no worries.
My husband has been in about three months, and I joined in last month. So I'll be mainly working on the admin side, the transaction coordinating, and my husband doing more for agent role. Yes.
Very cool. Oh, right on. Well, thanks and welcome aboard. And Heather?
Hi, good morning. Yeah, my name's Heather. Also about 3 months in. I'm at the Puget Sound office as well. I'm in South Seattle area.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, hey, gosh, we got lots of newbies. And you know what? You guys are picking a great time to come into the market. It's obviously crazy, but we are doing things different right now with COVID. A lot of the stuff we're going through right now today in, just the Ignite booklet, we've kind of fine-tuned a bit with COVID. And I say I'm so excited to be with Keller during this time. They have really stepped it up. And I look at a lot of the other agencies and we have been on top of it the entire time. And it's been so nice to have support and being able to do these classes and keeping up with everything. It's been great. All right, well, let's dive into this and get started. You guys are going to be on, we're just going to kind of go over some stuff. We'll do a break at 9:45 for about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and do some stuff. What we're going to do in this session is we're going to describe prospecting and how it contributes to your lead generation efforts. Prospecting is something that no matter what side of the business you're in, it is something that you are always going to do. It is part of your everyday life. When you're doing your schedules, it is always going to include prospecting. No matter what kind of agent you are, especially on teams, individual agents, you're always going to want to take that time to prospect. It should be number one on your schedule and a lot of people do it during the mornings. And next thing we're going to do is differentiate different prospecting methods. There's so many different methods and kind of figuring out what's going to be your prospecting method. And I tell everyone to have one or two. have 1 or 2 methods that work for you. Sometimes people love calling, expireds. I'm not one of those people. So, you're going to find what your niche is in the prospecting realm. So we'll go through a different methods, and then you guys can kind of figure out, what might be something that you want to try or do. And again, we'll just learn how to develop your own prospecting method and what's going to work for you in the coming months, and kind of set up a schedule for yourself on how this looks in your day and how important a schedule is. And that's one thing that if I can tell any newer agent is time block and schedule your days. And some people do it like on a Sunday, you schedule your week. Some people do it for the whole month. Some people do it for the whole year. So that we're going to work on schedules and talk about schedules and see where that fits in your lives. All right. Okay, so focusing on today, you guys already did the Spark first session, correct? I think you guys all did Spark. Okay, so you guys kind of touched on a lot of this stuff already, and understanding the lead gen model and all the stuff from the MREA. What we're going to do is, maybe you guys can share some of the ways that when you've started out, what do you guys do for prospecting right now? Like, what is your main lead for prospecting? Anybody? Just come on in.
Connecting with my sphere, reaching out and just over and over, being friendly, saying hi. Because especially right now, people actually really appreciate phone calls during COVID, I've noticed. Like more so than usual.
Yeah.
Right
Now, Laura, do you use any sort of a CRM, or do you have just like a sheet or like a Google Excel spreadsheet, or what do you use to go to when you open up your list of go-tos?
Well, I have everyone in my command.
Okay, good. Yeah. Awesome.
So then I look them back up and maybe like a neighborhood CMA or something, or just to keep them like in the loop of, hey, I'm still doing this, FYI. Because people always, they're not looking right now, but they might be,
right.
you know.
Absolutely. Great job. Anybody else using any other forms of trying to get leads? Anybody?
Our team uses ProQuest, so I've been making phone calls from those. Like we have like a flyer and a 1-800 number on it, so to find potential buyers. Mm-hmm.
All right, and how's those dialogues going with people? Are you finding a lot of hesitance or pushback, or are you getting some good leads from that?
I made like 450 calls and I think I got like 8 leads out of it. So
they usually say 1 for every 100, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, but a lot of hang-ups, a lot of do not call me again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Cool. Anybody else?
I've been playing with OpCity a little bit.
With which one?
With OpCity.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on that?
It's been kind of hit and miss. A lot of people, supposedly they're supposed to be pretty verified leads, but I'm not finding that so much on the couple that I've gotten. So
right.
Yeah, it's a lot of, in this case, I talked to them for a couple times and then they kind of seem to be ghosting me. So we'll see.
A lot of work. Well, that's exciting. Okay, so a lot of lead generation is, we're picking up the phone, especially these days. I mean, you're not getting out. There's not big community events right now. We're not, holidays were weird this year. People usually have Christmas parties and all that good stuff. We're seeing that our phones and our computers are really becoming our best friends when it comes to bringing in business. And it's really taking time to nurture those people that you know and making sure that they see you and know what you're doing. And a lot of that can be, I found this year, getting out in my neighborhood last spring. I mean, everybody was home. And so, you're taking the dog for a walk, and being in your own neighborhood and your own community is a great way to get business. So that's something that I've seen a lot of people start to do, taking a walk with some of your business cards. Hey, notice how you're doing. Your lawn looks great, so those are fun things to do. What we're going to do too is we're going to differentiate the difference between prospecting and marketing. Prospecting is all the time. It is constantly being on, bringing people in. Marketing is the other side of the business. It's what we do, whether it be paying for leads, social media, all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is look at the difference between bringing in the leads and paying for leads, basically, and how you always need to nurture that prospecting side. All right. Let me get over to my little screen here. All right. So what we're going to look at is connecting prospecting to lead generation. We're going to dive deep into that, take action and development and plan for your success and what's going to work great for you. And how prospecting will determine your growth in this business. If you're someone that is very hesitant in prospecting, got to get over it. You've really got to, it's kind of like, you know, it's a fear. A lot of people have fear with making those phone calls. And that's why script practice is so helpful, because it's kind of like muscle memory. If you do it a lot, it's just second nature. And a lot of it is taking the scared and the fear out of making those calls and being in front of people. Like, this is my first class and I couldn't sleep last night because I was totally too scared, but I'm getting out of my comfort zone, right? So it's all about, you know, trying to open up that time. So this is something, this screenshot here, I have this on my wall. And a lot of you, are you guys all working in Command, or everyone started in Command? It is something, beings that you guys are newer, start now. Every person you meet, a lady that I work with, she has, and I think it's a great idea, she has 3 days a week when she's doing her prospecting, she's putting leads that she has met during the week. She'll write someone's name down or put them in her phone, but she's taking the time 3 times a week to put those in Command, because a lot of times we meet people, we put their names in our phones and they never make it to our list. So then we're not nurturing them. We're not getting back to them, but they just become a name. So she actually puts a Z in front of a person's name that she needs to add to her database. So when she pulls up Z's on her phone, it says Z, you know, Elaine, whatever, you know, she knows that that person is someone that she needs to add. And then she takes the Z off after she's added. So that Z list, and I thought it was a great idea, because then you're meeting people and then you know who you have not included into your database. So what we're looking at here is kind of what we want to do as we're going into Command, is your prospecting and marketing. Marketing is going to be the next class. So we're going to really be looking at prospecting and bringing those captures in. Captures are people that have had one-way dialogues with. We haven't really sat down and had a conversation with them. We have seen that they have seen us on Facebook. They have seen us on Instagram. They heard from someone else who we are. So that's a captured lead. It's basically a one-way conversation at that point. So then we go into leads, and that's tracking and offering. A one-way lead is just, you put them on your touch programs, your neighborhood nurtures. And then after that becomes a two-way conversation, that becomes a contact at that point. So sometimes in Command, you'll see the leads and then the contacts. So there's a little thing you can hit. Don't hit leads, because then it puts them into another category. Once they become a contact, you can hit that. That means you're having a back and forth conversation. You've spoken to them on the phone. You've met them for coffee. You're in a dialogue with that person. It's interactive. And that's really a great time to put them on your monthly newsletter drip. Like I said, neighborhood nurtures. And you're going to want to, when you first make that contact, reach out at least 3 times in that first week. And then, you know, if you don't hear anything back, you go to twice the next week, once the next week, and then monthly. And then, you know, making sure you make that quarterly call. So then after you've done the connection, you're going to go down into cultivate it. And that's where, you know, you're going to make sure that they're on their neighborhood nurtures and that they're in the process of being qualified. Pre-qualification, especially in this market right now, is so, so important. We're seeing multiple offer situations on most all offers. And a really good thing to do for you guys too, being new in the business, is start interviewing loan agents, loan brokers, someone that you feel that you can trust when it comes to, because that's the side of the business that we don't have control over. So if you have someone that you're in business with that you trust and that you know is going to be highly communication based, will let you know what's going on, someone you can send your clients to where that part of the transaction that you don't have control over, it gives you a little bit more control when you know that that person has your back and is looking out for your client's best interest. So, and I do that by, you know, right now, I guess, getting on Zoom calls with different agents. Talk to people in your office. Who do you use? You know, who would make a good person for me to do some business with? That's cultivating your clients. You're making sure that they're gathering their information and setting them up for success in their transaction. And then again, you're just doing appointments, obviously a little different now with lots of Zoom appointments. Staying active in their life, and then hopefully you're out looking at properties, finally under contract, and then you close. Well, the most important part of this funnel is your closed transactions then become captured or become contacts again. And there are people, a lot of people will close these contracts and not talk to the people again. You know, send a closing gift, see, we've done business. Those people are going to be your biggest source of referrals. And, you know, I see now that, you know, I've got clients whose kids are coming to me now. So, you know, that closed, once it's closed, that's when your marketing should be up to notch. Making sure you're checking in, you know, you've got your birthdays, your house anniversaries, their kids' birthdays, the dog's birthdays, you know, it's just, you know, stuff that you can contact them with. That is where a lot of people lose touching base with people, with their sphere. And so when you take that extra time after closing, making sure you're checking in, you know, a month after they're in their house, hey, how's everything going? Are you doing okay? Any questions? You're coming from service, number one. And number two, they're still feeling the love. And so who are they going to be apt to, you know, tell their friends, yeah, I use this agent. Yeah, she's still talking to me. She sent me brownies the other day, you know. So, I mean, that person is, you're offering service, but then you're still staying top of mind with someone who just did business with you. So that's very, very important. Let's see, lead generation. Yeah, the practicing agent, if you don't have leads coming in, we look at it as being 90 days out. So say that you guys have been in, you know, for about 90 days, but most of you about 3 months. A lot of that is getting to know the Kellerisms, is getting to know, you know, Keller's language. You guys are at the point now where you're ready to, you know, lift off and start going. So your prospecting is going to be number one, lead generation in your daily task. And as long as you look at what you're doing right now, like if we were to say, what's today's date? So we'd look January, February, March, April. Right now it's April 19th. So everything you're doing right now, you're going to see around April 19th. And that's one thing about this business is it's not fast. I mean, you have going out and showing, you've got escrow, you've got all this time. So I always say, you know, look at today, what you do today and all the nurturing and all the conversations you have today, you will see 3 months down the line. So if you're putting in time and effort right now, you are definitely going to start to see, you'll start to see what you're doing now, 3 months. So that's why lead gen is just so important as of, you know, showing what you're going to be doing and constantly. Alrighty, let's go to the next slide. Alrighty. Okay, so we have a message and your message, everyone's is going to be different. So you have your sphere of influence, you have your communities that you belong to. Everyone's message is going to be different. The way you talk to people is different. So you're going to have your own method for each of you. Some people may want to do their calling in the afternoon. Some people it's in the morning. It should match who you are. Don't try to be or try to make your business somebody else's business. Maybe try to see if something's worked for someone else. Hey, I'm going to try that out. But make sure that you're making your business your business. And you're going to have your own target audience. You're the source of the market conditions. You're going to be looking on MLS to see, different, what's going on in the industry right now. You're going to be listening. You're going to be reading the Inman articles. A good idea too is in the community you're in, be that specialist. I live in Maple Valley. And I just moved here from Issaquah. So Issaquah for me for a long time was my community. And, you don't have to know everything, but, pull up your market snapshots on schools, know what's going on in the community, have a handle on what's going on. So when you talk to someone, you're like, oh yeah, did you hear about this going on? Or, this great new Nextdoor has been a great thing for me, being on there and being kind of like the go-to person for somebody, having that list of people, whether it be, HVAC or roofers or whatever. It's kind of like, oh, Julie on Nextdoor, she'll have some people that we can contact. So it's having that specialty when you're reaching out to people. Let's see, getting messages out to target group. Does anybody have so everyone probably lives in different areas. Know your niche. If you're part of a church, if you're like, for instance, I ran the cheerleading program in Issaquah for a long time. So I met a lot of people through that. And a lot of people have their kids that they work with. Just kind of get to know people in your community. And that's always a great way to make phone calls too. All right, so we're going to talk about why being prospecting based is important. Marketing is kind of where the money goes, and your rate on investment is how much money you spend and what you're getting back on that. Prospecting is something that's free, especially if you have people in your database. And it's great to hear that people are, put everybody you meet inside your command. So important, so important. With the current shift we had last spring, it was great because what we did is we took our databases and we made care calls. And right now, care calls are probably still a great thing to do. Calling those people and coming from a place of service and of love, I guess, too, and just checking in. You're not making a phone call like, hey, I'm in real estate. Do you need to sell your house? When you come from a place of service and, you're really making those care calls to check in on people. And I don't know if you guys went through the Ford, you talk about family and, their work and relationships and, what do you want to do or how's everything going? These are all really important conversations to have with your sphere. So making those care calls right now is a really good thing to do too. Checking in with everybody. Lots of people, you could get in, so on the little triangle here, immediate results. When you're prospecting, you're making that phone call, you're having direct contact with people. And when you check them off that you called them on January 20th or whatever, do another call in a month later and check back and make notes in command on what you talked about. My dog was sick, or, you know, anything like that. So you're being able, when you call back and you're looking in your notes in command, hey, how's, you know, Fluffy? I heard he was, you know, you were taking him to the vet last time. They're like, oh, wow, that person remembered, you know? So you're creating conversations, you're creating that relationship, and you're getting immediate results from that. And you're going to stay top of mind to that person. Marketing on the other side, which you guys will go through in a different class, that's putting you in front of people. That's paying for, you know, Facebook leads. That's paying for someone to, you know, Zillow leads, people are calling. Prospecting is super important on your end, just because you're always in front of people. And with the current shift, we're not able to do open houses right now. So we're all looking for different things that we can do to stay in front of our people. Let's see. So let me ask you guys a question. When you're a prospecting-based agent compared to someone that puts just all of their money, they're not comfortable making those phone calls. And then there's some agents that put all of their money into a marketing strategy. Maybe some of you guys can give me some feedback on being new. Where do you see yourself as an agent? And, you know, what do you see working for you? Has anyone tried any of this, or do you guys have any thoughts on where you see yourself? Chime on in, anybody? Anybody? Morgan, what about you? I'm going to call on you.
I haven't been able to make calls yet because I've been trying to subscribe to the Do Not Call registry, and I finally got the email back this morning from them.
Nice.
There have been problems with that, and so I just received the email from them of trying to resolve the whole situation. So I'm finally able to register for that now.
Nice.
So now I can make phone calls.
Very cool. Now, have you set up your command? Are you putting everybody you know in there?
Yeah, that's all set up and everything. I just needed to register for that. But I feel like prospecting is more of a personal relationship rather than marketing, which is just people are going to get annoyed with seeing your ads all the time. And prospecting is definitely more of that personal side of it and more intentional rather than, I don't know, I'd get irritated if I saw somebody's ads pop up all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Morgan, for sharing. Anybody else? No? Okay. So back to prospecting, one thing you just need to do is make sure that you're doing it at least 3 times a week. And like I spoke about before, that you're scheduling your time. Some people I got, you know, my calendar up on my wall here, and Tuesday and Thursday I have scripts from 8 to 8:30, and then I start prospecting right away. And prospecting doesn't have to be a phone call. Prospecting can be a quick text to someone. It's called a touch, and it's a text, an email, a phone call, and a letter. So I have a bunch of letters here. I'm kind of crafty, so I made these little cards. I don't know. So like I've got a bunch here, and I set 5 aside. I do it 3 times a week, and whether it be someone's birthday or just someone that I saw at the store, it was so great to see you. And one thing you guys can do is this sounds kind of sleuthy, but you guys have access to, like for instance, First American's database. You can find out someone's address really easy, you know, and, you know, you're sending those handwritten cards, and that's a touch. So I send 15 a week, and, you know, everyone's different. But getting that mail for someone, especially when they're stuck in their house, is kind of exciting. I send it to, my kids actually would color papers and send them to, you know, people like in an assisted living facility or something, just to kind of make a touch with people. So those are fun to do. Trying to think of any other thing. All right, so let's go over to different forms of prospecting. And this is where everyone's, I'd get a highlighter and let's go to page 4 in your notebook. It's prospecting methods. And let's take 2 minutes and you guys can look at the list above, but take a couple minutes and I'll give you guys like 3 minutes and write down just off the top of your head, what is your first 10, like, and you can look at the list above, what would be, or you can highlight it, list your top 10 on what you think you would be, number 1, comfortable doing, good at, and then your last one is going to be star it, and that's something that you think you would want to try. So go ahead, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes and write down at least 10. All right, if you're all done, you guys can look up. Awesome, awesome. All right, so who'd like to share their top and maybe just kind of give us a list of what they think that they would want to do starting out, what their top one would be to something that they're a little bit scared of but might try. Anybody? I'll call on you.
I would say for me, like the one that I'm kind of scared of but really want to get into is calling the for sale by owners and expireds.
Okay, okay. Very cool. And there's some great scripts that in that scripts booklet that really help with that. And that's something we'll talk about in a little bit. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else?
Some things I've done, I was asked to be the room teacher for my class, my son's class, and I really didn't want to do it, but we were like, nope, this is one way for me to be out there with people. Right. And then the other thing is I'm on a board of a nonprofit now that I probably wouldn't have put myself out there as soon to do that. So.
Very cool. Yeah, getting out of your comfort zone, that's numero uno. And that's like, for me, it's been one of the hardest things, but I have gained such like personal success from doing that because getting out of your comfort zone is hard. But once you do it, good to go. Good to go. Anybody else?
So for me, in terms of the being in the comfort zone, where I'd start and where I have been starting is with some key relationships and investors where I've started. Mm-hmm. And so folks that I've come with through companies I've been with, that's been easier. All the cold stuff, like I think was said before about cold calling expireds and FSBOs, I think are, I haven't worked up the courage to do that. I created some scripts, but just couldn't do it. In fact, went to the point of I had another partner company that was willing to actually share their cold calling team, and I was about to just give them a list and say, you call them. But I'm sure I'll need to do it myself.
Outstanding. That's awesome. And what's something, so FSBOs, cold calling, it's hard. It really is. Yeah. What's something that you think you can do to set yourself up for success, or even just try? What's something that comes to mind?
I mean, for me in particular, on those particular ones, having a well-practiced script and is obviously one. I've been on the other side of those. I've had expired listings and just been bombarded. So I know exactly what it feels like. So I'm trying to figure out, ask myself what would have worked or what could work. Maybe hear some success stories. That'd be great. And obviously it comes through the script practice and other folks sort of sharing what works. Right.
Very cool. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else have any thoughts? Anybody? Anyone?
I want to start farming. So, and really pick particular neighborhoods. And I don't have a script selected yet, but I'm reviewing a bunch. Like, I need it to sound like me, and I feel like there's a million and one different ones. So I'm kind of working on getting the names, which I found a good way to do that now. Either sending them something or actually, if the phone number's available, making the calls. But kind of from the point of, we have buyers that love your neighborhood and are having a tough time finding anything. Do you know if any of your friends are thinking about selling, or that kind of a thing? So that's one of the strategies that I am working on. I don't have it ready to go yet, but that's definitely one of them. Also, I feel like in my mind, there's a big difference between calling people that I know in my sphere, like that's one whole bucket, right? Yeah. And then calling people I don't know, like getting these names or something. And in my mind, it's a very different activity and a kind of a different mindset. I'm almost more, I'm not going to say the word afraid. I think I work up more concern or whatever about people I know. Calling a stranger, I'm like, well, okay, the conversation will probably be faster and on to the next. But calling somebody I know, is a different experience.
It is. And it's funny when you start doing script practice, I was so embarrassed at first. It's like we're reading things and they're right there in front of you. But it's funny how you start to put your own spin on things, and it becomes more of a comfort thing. I was in real estate for 3 years before I even heard about script practice, and it makes such a difference. And I get tongue-tied a lot, as you guys probably can tell, but finding those words sometimes, and if you've done script practice, it really, really helps. One thing that I can tell you guys too, especially Susan, you brought up farming. With all of you guys being new, you guys have contacts of people in your office. And for instance, in our office at Mountains to Sound, Rosie Rourke, she is the master of farming. She would love to talk to you. And she has like this 19 points of farming an area. And she has been in the business for 25 years and is beyond successful. She kind of has the Fairwood area in Renton, and they gave her a day, like the Renton mayor gave her like Rosie Rourke Day. But those are people that want to help you. And one thing that you guys have is all of our Keller Williams family. And don't reinvent the wheel. It's been done. Put your own spin on it, but ask those questions. Feel free to talk to someone in your office, but don't take weeks trying to create something. Find that person that you kind of want to either mimic or see something that they've done, or what are you doing that's working, and ask the questions. Everybody in these offices are so amazing and they want to help. That's one thing with these offices, from coming from another brokerages, that everybody is helpful for the most part, and people want to help you. And there isn't a reason to sit there and wait for 3 weeks trying to create something that's been done a million times.
What's her name again?
Rosie Rourke.
Okay.
Yeah. Contact contact Rosie. She would love, say you took Jalay's class and Jalay said she's awesome, but she'll email it to you. It's her 19 points and she'll do a class on it. If you have land questions, we've got, you know, John Love, who's amazing at land. So there's people out there, and that's one thing that I highly recommend to you all is don't be afraid to ask. There is someone that can help. And I know getting started in the business, you feel like you have to do it before you can either say it or write that contract, or, you know, you feel like you have to have everything down before you take that next step. You're going to learn by doing. You're going to learn by making those phone calls. Yeah, they're not all going to be comfortable, but you will learn from every phone call you make. You will learn something from every contract you make, from every, you know, open house you do. You're going to learn something to take with you to that next step. You don't learn by sitting in your room, you know, reading about it. It's going to be by acting. And that's where you're going to make your difference. Okay. Anybody else have ideas on prospecting areas or what they want to do? Or like I said before, I don't do expireds. I think because they get bombarded with calls, and for me, it just never worked. FSBOs, I think, is something that we're seeing more of now, just because people think that, you know, what do I need an agent for? Because my house is going to sell like this anyway. So you're seeing a lot of FSBOs, but then doing the research on that and doing the scripts on that is really important, because they do need us, believe it or not. And, you know, we're going to help them not only sell their property, but we're there for service too. We're protecting them. You know, we're giving them, making sure title and escrow goes smoothly, all those good things you want to give to that FSBO. A lot of people have, you know, spouses or whatever that are in corporate jobs. One thing I suggest to people is try to get in with their recruiting programs at, you know, whether it be a spouse or someone that you know that works at like Microsoft or whatever. I had a friend that got in with the recruiting program, and she's the go-to person for when they have people relocating. And we are in an area where relocating is huge. People come here for jobs. And let's see, I think it was Esther that said something about working at the kids' schools. That's huge too. And, you know, you just organically bring up, or, you know, people say, what have you been doing? Oh, showing houses, you know, so it can be totally organic. And then all of a sudden people know that you're in real estate. Okay, well, thanks for sharing that, you guys. Let's see. So we've all has anybody had a deal yet? Has anybody written that first contract yet? Nope. All right. Well, that's exciting.
We just had our first offer yesterday.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Congratulations.
Yeah. It was a really quick one. Someone asked, it was funny, a real quick story is they were asking for rentals because he had to move out of his place. And so I just quickly gave him, you know, just a list of places he could move to. And I said, oh, by the way, you know, renting is not that awesome for you. You know, if you're paying $2,000 a month, you know, I can also help you if you're looking around to buy. And over the weekend, he decided, yep, I'm looking to buy. And so then we made an offer on a flip yesterday in Renton.
That's exciting. Good job. Anybody else?
I submitted my first offer 2 days ago. And then right after this, I'm submitting another offer.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, it's for the same client, just because it's in West Seattle, and just like there's so much interest in like every home right now that we've been looking at. So we're just trying to get something, you know.
That's amazing. Great job. Great job. It's kind of exciting. It's like a rush, and it's like you want it to keep going.
Yeah.
Right. And just people get so like on the little stuff, ask for help. And if there's no sense in saying no to anybody because you don't know, always ask the question. And that's what I tell people. If I don't know, I will find someone that can help us out with that. But if you seem discouraged or distraught or pushed back because you're not ready, they'll feel that. So you always just say, yes, we can. And you ask the questions. people will find if you're newer, and you can tell them you're new, but you know what? I have got a huge family behind me that is going to support me if I need it. So that's another wonderful thing. Let's see. I'll share with you guys a couple things that I do with prospecting. I have a theme. So you have to kind of figure out what's your why. Why are you calling? What is your reason for making this call? And like I said, it's great when it's organic. A lot of what I've been doing is I have been doing a lot of social media with providing service. So we're seeing a lot of small businesses suffer right now. I am not coming at it as, yes, my top is I want to get business, but I'm trying to help the smaller businesses. So I do Small Business Saturday. I go and take pictures of, like, for instance, around Christmas time, we have down in Renton, there's a great little skincare place called Blue Door. She's new. She opened during COVID, poor thing. So it's highlighting these things on social media. And you're coming to a place, you're helping small businesses, you're marketing them, you're introducing them to owners, they're providing a service for people. So it's kind of coming in at a service. You're not sitting there making calls saying, hey, do you want to sell a house? You're saying, hey, like for instance, downtown Renton right now, they're doing date night in a box. How fun would it be to call someone and just say, hey, I was just downtown, I saw online, Renton's doing downtown in a box. It's like $60. They do an online thing. They send food to your house. You know, you get roses. It's just this whole fun thing. Wouldn't that be fun to do? You're providing something to do in this where everybody's home. So it's just looking outside of your box, I guess you could say too, and bringing stuff to people of value and service. I like to spotlight a special place each week. So I will go in first thing saying, I wonder what's here. Who can we meet? What can we do? What can we get out of this place? So like the AR workshop here in Maple Valley, they do tons of fun craft stuff. I went in over Christmas, took pictures of wouldn't this be fun for the kids? Or, you know, you just kind of highlight stuff and that goes on social media. You tag them, you tag your business, and then you tag, you know, whoever else you want to see. And you just kind of highlight that business through the week. That's super fun. Becoming a community voice. Having a theme for each month. Right now, mine is mindfulness. Kind of have been doing, I do a lot of social media posts on, you know, state of mind. Everyone's been in the house for so long now. It's after Christmas, after the holidays. You usually see January being a time where people may need to talk to people. So opening up my line for people if they need something, sending out mindful, like little anecdotes or whatever, but you know, it's just kind of being present, but not coming from a place of business. You want to be 80% personal, 20% business. So especially on your social media pages, let people, you're letting people into your life. And if they see you're out in the community, you're doing good things, they want to see what you're doing, what's available, what's going on. But then you're throwing in, you know, statistics here and there. Hey, I'm going to go out and do a Facebook Live at this amazing new listing. Since we're not doing open houses, that's super fun. Doing a Facebook Live is something that I've had a lot of fun with because we can't do open houses right now. So it's using those different tools that we have to create momentum behind your name and your brand. Does anybody have any questions on thoughts or stuff that they think?
A quick one on that one, actually. So we're starting to do some virtual open houses as well. And just in setting those up, are you able to capture the leads if you do Facebook Live? We're doing this whole thing with, you know, this whole contraption with you know, the landing page where they register and then we send them a Zoom link, create a smart planner.
If you do it that way, yes. Okay. If you do it that way, you can capture and you can see who's logged on and such. Yeah, which is super important. A lot of it too is I don't do the capture. I just get on my Facebook page and go live, walk them through the house. And then I stay around, and people like will type in questions, you know, how many bathrooms was that? Or, you know, so you're there, you're present, you're asking, you're doing a dialogue with people, answering questions. I actually have my daughter on the other side doing questions and answers. I'll be in front of the camera. She's behind the camera, and she'll be answering. She'll be like, hey, they want to know this, or they want to know that. So if you have a partner in crime with that, it works really well.
Okay, great. Okay, got it. So I just want to make sure that you're able to actually capture the folks and DM them on Facebook or something if they ask questions. I mean, so you can kind of lead capture them within Facebook. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's actually, I mean, you guys are going to do another class with social media and stuff. And I'll tell you, Facebook and Instagram, especially Facebook, it's been such an amazing source for myself. And you can, there's ways to take your contacts in Facebook and put them into your command. You can like type, like if you're in Maple Valley comes up with everybody who's in Maple Valley. You can take them and put them in and do a direct marketing campaign with them, which is pretty cool. Lots of different stuff. All right, so now we're going to, let's go. Actually, what time is it? 9:57. Hey, why don't we take let's take a 10-minute break. Come back at 10:10. I'll put the timer on, and go get some coffee, go to the bathroom, go do all that fun stuff, and then we'll come back and meet back on. Okay? All right, one more minute. We'll be back. All right, now. All right, welcome back, everybody. All right, we're gonna head over to your page 5 in your book. I'm sorry, page 6, my bad. Okay, and page 5, if you guys wanna go back through that, this is more on a door knocking model. This kind of gives you just basically, I mean, it could be in making a phone call also, your approach, act, how can you come from contribution and value? What are your needs? And this is great for a phone call. Like, what are you trying to get through? Asking for business referrals and permission to stay in touch is always a good one. Add contacts to your database. You know, every time you meet someone, I gave you guys a couple of ideas on that, and put them on a touch campaign and smart plans. When you add someone to your database, go immediately into smart plans. And if you know their address, put them on a neighborhood nurture, or put them on you can do neighborhood nurture. You can have one that just touches base with them. It can be every quarter, every week, every month. That way, they're having a touch without you having to actually do the touch, I guess. So that's super important. All right, what we're going to talk a little bit now is something that you guys have that's very valuable with Keller Williams is our agent to agent referrals. This is actually a way that I do a lot of business, and that is in Command. You have access to a referral network that is worldwide. If you happen to find that maybe in talking with people, there's a lot of people from Texas coming up this way, or a lot of people from California that are coming up this way. If you start to have relationships with these agents, maybe get on the referral network on Command, see who's doing business in that area. There's a filter. You can find if that person is in MAPS, which is something that an agent pays for. It's kind of a coaching method. And they obviously have value in their business that they're spending like $1,000 a month to have business. So there's different categories and different filters you can do in a certain area. Create businesses or create growth with those people. Let them know who you are, how you do business. Unfortunately, I hope you guys are all going to family reunion, which is amazing. It's going to be different, obviously, this year being virtual. But, you know, in past years, it's a great place to go and meet these people that you've been talking to a lot. I have an agent that I work with in Texas. We've been sending business back and forth for a year and a half now. And I've done probably 3 or 4 transactions with her. Have never met her, but I trust her because she treats my clients like gold. I have one in Portland also. One down in the Contra Costa area in California. This is something that you can do if you find that you're trying to get business. If you see market changing, people are coming from other areas, create those relationships. That 25 to 30% commission on those, basically giving someone a name that you trust, is huge. I had a client last year. They sold their house in Enumclaw. They were moving to New Mexico. I got on my referral network, pulled up agents in the Santa Fe area. It ended up going from like 300 for the state of New Mexico or whatever, how many it was. It boiled down to 10. I kind of went through and did my own sleuthing on it, you know, checked out social media, what kind of business they do, got down to 3, and I called and interviewed them and said, hey, I've got clients coming down. What can you tell me? Do you, number one, have time for them? The gentleman was a super numbers person. He just wants to see the numbers and making sure that they were going to mesh. And then so what I did is I interviewed the top 3, and I gave my clients 2 of the names that I thought would be suitable and let them make the decision, but have built great referrals with agents across the country. And that way, and when you guys do, has anybody done their BOLD class yet? Has anybody taken BOLD? Take BOLD. It's amazing. BOLD is incredible.
Yes.
Oh, good. BOLD is incredible. It really opens up communication, and it's doing stuff like this where people are sharing experiences and stuff is the way you guys are going to learn so much. And it puts a real picture together than just reading it off of a page. I have learned so much from doing all these different classes and learning how people handle rejections or do their scripts, or with BOLD, it set us up for a network. Like, I don't go super far south, like down towards Vancouver, usually not further south than Puyallup area. And I met tons of people in my group, and actually had people at my group that work that area. So now I have a referral network down there. So when I don't want to drive down there over like towards Gig Harbor, you guys are closer, but like there's people over there now that I can send business to. So if you create these relationships, super important. And then you maintain them by, sending off a little, hey, how you doing? How's business over there? You're just creating that relationship. And then you stay top of mind, because a lot of people, over on the peninsula and stuff, they don't want to do business over here. People over in Chelan, over in that West Wenatchee area and stuff. Lots of people are getting second homes in, Cle Elum area. So it's nice to have agents up there that you can talk to. So when, they sell that house and come back down here, you're their agent. So that's a really great way to create business for yourself also and have those relationships. Does anybody have any questions on agents? And let me see if I can share my screen with you guys and show you where that is in Command. This is new to me, so if I lose you, I'm not trying to. Okay. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, never mind. All right, so where are we here? Okay. Agent to agent. Okay, oh yeah, so like if you guys look at the screen here, this is the referral network in Command. I think it's like the 4th button down on the left-hand side when you go into Command, and you can pull up people in areas. So for instance, if you maybe have family in Portland and you want to know who you could, send your family to, someone you can create a network with down there. So like if you've got family friends or whatever, and they know people, it's really great, especially where you know people, to have referral people. You can put in, like right where it says my referral network, it shows how many people are in your network. And you can ask people to be part of your network through this. So it's a really good, if you want to take an afternoon and just kind of, touch on areas, kind of learn about those people, and then you just ask them to be part of your network, and they do, and then you can nurture that relationship, which works well. Okay, does anybody have any questions on referral network? No? Okay.
How active, I guess,
yeah.
Sorry, is so how often does it happen from, we're dabbling in both residential and commercial. And so how often does it happen? One of the key opportunities we're seeing is residential agents will come across leads that, would essentially that are commercial. They're basically would serve a commercial client. So for example, larger multifamily or some, investor looking at maybe office or retail or something. How often do those leads come across your desk where you see residential agents wanting to refer those over to someone that can do commercial? Is that a common thing that you see a lot of?
Yeah, and actually, Yeah. So one thing you'll want to make sure you do is get your website through Command up and going, and make sure that you're stating that you're commercial also. People will look in that area. I know I do. We've got someone in my office, Guru, that I send my commercial stuff to. Again, that's having someone in your pocket that you know that you can send people to, and they will do that for you as well. So make sure that you have that stated on your webpage. So when people say from Texas or whatever, go in and say, I need someone in your area that does commercial, right, you'll pull up.
Right. Right. Great. Thanks.
Anybody else have any questions on that? And that's just touching on that, is making sure that all your info in your Command area is up to what you're working on or what you're doing right now, and make sure that you have all of your information in there. And so when people are searching this area, they know you're going to come on the screen, I guess I should say. Okay. We are going to move on. I'd like to get us into rooms in 10 minutes. So that should be interesting. I'm going to try to do that. All right, really fast. I want to work on process-based marketing enhanced. Everybody, like we said, their basis, we start with prospecting. Marketing comes in from outside entities, but we want to make sure that we all prospect at least 3 times a week. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about open houses. Even though we're not doing them right now, I hopefully foresee by summertime we'll be able to do open houses again. It is a way to create tons. It's like people are walking in the door, their leads. People are not out looking at property if they're not interested in property. And 9 times out of 10, they do not have an agent. And they may say they do, but they don't. So one thing that I use is called Open Pro. It's an app. It's on my iPad. And basically it allows you to show a picture of the property. People walk in and all they do, you're not asking for them to write down their stuff in your book. If you have, I have a little, it's like a, looks like a phone holder. Oops. But it's for my iPad. And when they come in, I say, hey, the seller would like you to sign in before coming in. It asks them 4 questions. It says, are you in the market to buy? Are you in the market to sell? Phone number and email address. And how did you hear about us? It then takes all that information for you. And so at the end of your open house, you have a list of everybody that's come in with their phone number and email. Whether they have an agent or not, it does ask that question. At the end of my open houses, I go through and I send a text. Thanks so much for joining me, with a picture of the house that they saw. Thanks so much for joining me at my open house today. It was great to meet you. It also adds an area where you can make a note, like if you did get to have a conversation with that person. They're looking for a 3 and 2. They've got 3 kids. Schools are important to them. So Open Pro has been great, and it's free. So it's a great tool to have at open houses, and then you're able to download those into your Command, which is amazing.
Is this called Open Home Pro, by the way? We're just trying to download
it. Open Home Pro.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Thank you.
Yep. And so I found you play around with it. You can add the pictures, notes. It's been a great tool for me. And it kind of takes off that them writing down, you know, Fred Flintstone, because people are apt to type out what their name really is and their email and stuff. So it adds one less thing that you have to ask someone to write down. So when they walk in the door, it's just right there, and you just basically say, hey, seller would like you to sign in. So that's Open Home Pro's amazing. There's also a couple of different ones, but I haven't used them. Being prepared for an open house is super important. It's a way to reach out. You could have 100 contacts in a week. If you look at a house and it's on a street, you have tons of prospecting around that neighborhood. A lot of people would make a flyer just to kind of invite them. Some people do like a nighttime showing on Friday nights. Hey, we're inviting the neighbors over Friday night just to take a look at the house. what better than to choose your own neighbors? Do you have a friend that wants to move to your neighborhood? And usually within the first hour of an open house, it's mostly neighbors. It's people want to see what the house is. So when you're going, it's a good way to go door knocking to invite them. Hey, we're listing this house across the street. We're inviting the neighbors over to take a look in case they might know somebody that'd like to move to our neighborhood. We're open from, 5 to 7 or whatever. Come on over and take a look, bring some friends. We'll have, milk and cookies or whatever, but it's not saying, hey, we're selling the house, come over and see us. It's adding, hey, we're doing it just for you. So it's a way to door knock. You could do 50 doors, or just, if there's no soliciting, you can tape it to the garage or whatever. But it's a great way to invite people when we get to do open houses again. That's a touch for inviting people. Just listed postcards are a great way to invite the neighborhood. One thing you can do on command is we have access to Nextdoor. So it shows up everybody on that street, and you can send postcards. You can pull up, owner occupies, just people that are renting. Hey, maybe they actually want to buy something on that street, and you can kind of see where people are at, and you can pick and choose, the door knockings you want to do. That's another touch before your open house. Sharing on social media, huge way. You can, hey, we're doing people do drawings at open houses. Hey, come fill out, this little tag, and that's a way to get, like, if they fill out that thing, I'll do a drawing at the end of the day for, a $40 gift certificate. So those are fun ways to get people in. Let's see, return on investment. Open Pro, participant guide. A lot of people aren't really doing a lot of flyers these days, cutting down on the paper. Social media is a great way to do it, like I said. A lot of people are doing the QR codes on their signs. People can come by and just take a snap, which is a great idea. If you guys
I have a question about that. Isn't that something, can we set the QR code thing up in command? Or...
actually, yeah, you can set the QR code up in command, and then you can print it out. Yeah. Look at Chris. What a great idea, Chris.
That's on your business card, Chris? That's cool.
Oh, I like that.
So I designed this entire thing through command.
That looks really good.
Oh my gosh, Chris is participating. This is so weird. That's cool.
They can hear you guys.
Very cool.
Anyways, sorry about my teammates back there.
That looks great. Very cool. So yeah, like he did all of that in command. So that's really cool. There's so much. So Crystal, I don't know if you guys have met Crystal yet. She is the marketing. She is all knowing in command. She's the tech person. I don't know if you guys have met her yet and have had the opportunity to take any of her classes. For myself, I'm really tech challenged, but I've taken 3 of her classes now, and most of them have been on command. I'm doing her Smart Plans class next week. Take baby steps, because it can be so overwhelming. I've been pretty overwhelmed with command, but take baby steps. Her classes are wonderful, and put that into your schedule, and she can help you with all of that kind of stuff. And then you can also do 30-minute sessions with her too. She's great. I feel kind of weird doing open house stuff right now because there is no open houses, but it's stuff that you guys got to know. Being prepared for open.
So something really helpful, actually. I mean, at least over the next probably 6 months till we can do physical open houses, would be any tips that you have around, and people are doing the virtuals, but door knocking is not allowed. So if you could walk us through kind of what's in play now, and we give some current tips, that would be super helpful, guys, because that'll be useful.
Absolutely. What I'm seeing now is lots of virtual tours, and that's something that you can do on your smartphone. I don't know if any of you guys are on Zillow. They have a 3D tour that you can upload straight to Zillow. Zillow is the biggest place where people are looking for houses. One thing we've been seeing is people do most of their shopping online.
Yeah.
And they will come back to you before you can even get to them sometimes. Oh, this one just came on, or this one just came on. That's where people are doing their shopping. So when you have uploaded, right now Zillow just took, they were able to IDX with our MLS. We were like one of the last places in the area that are able to get the content over to Zillow and Trulia and all that good stuff. If you have a video on there, you automatically go to the top of their searches. So it's taking that extra effort on your listings to put a video on there is super important on the social media sites. Zillow and Trulia are together. Realtor.com brings over anything from the MLS. So if you add a video to your MLS tour, it will automatically go over.
My understanding, by the way, real quickly on that one was that we get syndication though, that for free. So when we put stuff into KWLS, that it gets syndicated out to Zillow, Trulia, and all that stuff. And so there's not any extra sort of one-off syndication we have to do ourselves, or I mean, we could go to Craigslist or something if we wanted to, but I mean, we don't really need to.
Yeah. So Zillow doesn't get like, for instance, with Zillow, you have, if you go in and do their Zillow 3D tour, take your phone through your house, that will bring your listing up. It doesn't get syndicated. So that's something that you have to do on your own. It's an app that goes with Zillow, and it's called 3D Tours. So that's something that you can, on top of your syndication from the MLS, add to your listing. And with Zillow, when you have that downloaded, it increases it or it brings it to the top more.
And I was trying to look at this myself with listings. You can tell I don't have any personally for me, but my team does. Do you actually get to see the stats for all those different syndicates? So, for example, like how my listing performed on Zillow and how it performed on Trulia and all that stuff. So
Absolutely.
You do.
Yep. You'll go in as the representative or the agent, and you will see how many clicks it's gotten, how many saves it's gotten. That's a really good, and that's awesome marketing to share with your seller.
Right.
Also, take a screenshot and say, "Hey, look you've got 28 saves on the first day." So that's huge.
And sorry, where do you actually go into each of those sites separately to get that data, or is it in Command aggregated? You go separately.
You have to go into the sites to get that information. Yep. Postcards are a good form of letting people know that this house is on the market. Our inventory is so low right now that marketing is so fast. So we can't do any like they're coming soon. So we can't do that in our area. And depending upon where you are, everywhere is just, I mean, things are selling within 24 hours, going pending. But when that changes, a lot of postcards, open houses, inviting people to the open house around that neighborhood. Neighborhoods. So another good way is if there's a neighborhood and it's say like a step up from the neighborhood you're doing, people may be downsizing into that neighborhood or upsizing into the neighborhood next door. So those are always good ways of sending postcards to say, hey, are you looking to move up? The Woods has new listings coming available, So that's good.
I throw this out quick. Sorry, I'm interrupting. A lot of this is if you have listings, but a lot of us are so new that like we don't have listings. So where do we start? I guess that's kind of my question is like, I know that several of us are like within the last few months. And so getting like, this is great to send a postcard with a new listing if you have a listing, but where do we start before that?
So it's farming. It's getting your name out to a neighborhood. It's you want to be seen and creating your brand. One thing that Keller Williams lets you do is create your own brand. So you'll have the Keller Williams emblem. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, I've got a red circle that says just Jalea Gunn Real Estate Group. Creating that brand so people notice you. Farming, you're not going to probably get anything on the first 2 or 3 postcards out. It's going to take top of mind, and you will start to see probably 6 to 9 months some feedback from farming. It's a long investment. But become part of your HOA if that's something that you do. Get to know people in your neighborhood, neighborhood surrounding, community. All those things are going to, you want to be top of mind and coming from contribution and service. So when someone says real estate, they think Heather. So you want that to correspond with people, and it's just constantly being top of mind with people. And a lot of it is what you're doing on social media right now, because people aren't out meeting at concerts and doing all that kind of stuff. So a lot of what you do, people are seeing, and that's really important. Because listings, I mean, you got to work at those, and that's what you want. Because they're selling, so that's a paycheck. Buyers, it's hard to get those deals through right now. So listings obviously are where you want to be.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
How long has it been since we've been able to do open houses?
Since they shut down in April of last year.
Okay.
Right. Yep. And then
there was like a quick, I don't know, month or something.
Yeah.
Like in maybe October or something like that. Because it was right when August. I started. I'm like, oh, good, open house back. And then they went away.
And then those went away real fast. Yeah, because everything started calming down like right after July and August. And we got to do, you had to have like only 3 people could come in. And honestly, a lot of people chose not to do them because it was crazy. It was crazy. You know, you have to have, and I always tell people too, don't do open houses alone. Whether you're female, male, don't do open houses alone. Really have someone with you at all times. It's safer. There's just so much craziness going on. I mean, I bring my daughter sometimes, and or my husband. It's just not an environment you have all these strangers coming into a house. And first and foremost, be safe. Is my real thing on open houses. But with open houses, just like you were asking, Heather, with the environment that we're in, and listings will come. And obviously we're not doing open houses right now, but there's always a way to market that doesn't have to be an open house. Like we were talking about the whole virtual thing. We're talking about postcards, word of mouth, social media. Those are all ways to get the listings out there to people. But with you guys will hopefully be able to do a way to get business as a newer agent is to do those open houses for listing agents. Most people don't like to do open houses for their own listings because you don't usually represent people that come in. So they get people to do the best way I got business starting on is doing open houses for established agents. Get in good with an agent, let them know that you are there. They want to make sure that you're prepared, you're organized, you've got your flyers, you've got your signs, you're marketing with balloons, you've got your Open Home Pro. You're there to answer questions. And if an agent sees that you do really good open houses, they're going to ask you to do them again. And people are just coming in off the streets, and it's contacts. And it is, for me anyway, it was a great way to get clients. I've done a lot of business from open houses, and it's how you prepare and get ready for them. And it starts the week before the open house. It's marketing that area. And it's great because as a buyer's agent, it's free contacts. And they may not be looking at that house, but they could want to look at another house. And you're basically just opening dialogue with them on, okay, so this house isn't for you. What does your house look like? What do you see your house looking like? You're opening up that dialogue, you're continuing to talk to them, and you're checking back in with them after the open house. So you've created that connection. So that's a really, like, when open houses start, I highly recommend you guys all getting in with some agents that will let you do open houses, because it's a great way to do it.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So for the Open Home Pro, did they ever create a virtual side of it? And so that if you're doing like a, let's say, Facebook Live tour open house, you could still link that to it and people could still sign in through that.
You know what? I don't think so. I don't think that they have that yet.
don't have it? Okay.
Yeah, I honestly haven't opened up Home Pro since my last open house in April. So I do not, but that's a really good idea. There's your app. There's your $1 million. Yeah, so highly recommend you guys doing open houses. And I think Jennifer's going to be teaching the open house class. She is the master of open houses. She has storyboards. She's got everything you could want. She's like the open house guru. I've learned so much from her. She did
Jennifer Thompson, or what's her last?
Yeah, Jennifer Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's amazing. And I think she's going to be teaching the open house class. So take notes with hers. And when we start having open houses again, I went and visited her open house because it's incredible. And you learn so much. And it's a way, she's done so much business off of open houses. It's incredible. All right. Do you guys have any other questions regarding open houses? And I know it's kind of a different time right now, but any questions, ideas?
I guess the main thing was, maybe Jennifer knows, is kind of in this new normal for open houses. Is there someone that has a playbook on, virtual open houses and how to do that, and all that stuff? And maybe Jennifer is a good person to start with. And
she does Facebook Live.
She does Facebook Live.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So on her listings, she takes her, she'll show up on a Saturday and she'll market that, hey, I'm doing a Facebook Live this Saturday from 10 to 11. Come, sign in, ask me questions about the house. I'm going to show you around. She shows the neighborhood. She'll take you by the elementary schools in that neighborhood. It's all about that house and, where it's by, the amenities close by, all that good stuff. So she does like a full hour or two on just that house, which is, it's really cool.
Cool. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. One thing with open houses too, is when you guys, I don't know if you guys have learned how to use the tags in Command yet. When you're creating a contact, put open house, and you can create your own tags, put open house, because then when you're filtering, if you want to pull up everybody that you've met at open houses, you can use the open house tag and it will list everyone that you've met at open houses. So once a month, you're contacting those people again. That can be one of your, your lead generation time, is contacting those open house people. So that's a really good way to use tags. Let's see. With the open houses, Jennifer's really going to go through a lot of that with you guys, and being that we can't do them right now, I think we've kind of touched a lot on open houses, the going live, and a lot of it, like you'll find people that just show up, from 10 to 2 or whatever. You're going to want to pull data. That's something that you want to share on your Facebook Live. Pull data from the area. How many homes have sold in this area? What's the comps look like? You'll get people that are very numbers oriented that are asking questions. So have those things ready to go when you're doing your Facebook Lives for open houses. And right now you guys can ask people in your office, hey, would you mind if I do a Facebook Live for you? Ask those listing agents that have listings coming up, hey, I would love to go show your listing. So you guys, just because you don't have listings, ask other agents. Say, hey, do you guys have anything coming up? I'd love to go do a Facebook Live for you this weekend. They would love that marketing. And that creates momentum for you guys. It creates stuff for you guys to post. And that way it kind of gets you set up for when we can do open houses again. You've kind of already been there.
So I posted that on the KW Puget Sound intranet Facebook group. Good. And I only got one response, and so a lot of other people said, like, oh, don't do that, don't waste your time with that, do this instead. And then one of the guys said to do a 30 days, think of a word for a house, or think of words for a house each day, like comforting, and then look on Pinterest and post a word each, like a picture for that word each day. But then my follow-up question for that is, are we allowed to look up pictures on Pinterest or on Google and use those pictures and post them as our own?
You can, on Google Images, you can post those pictures. because those are pictures that are free for anybody.
So just like Googling something and then posting those ones.
Yeah.
The
Google
other
images.
thing you could do is use Canva. Just, you know, 'cause
Yes.
they have images there that are free for you to use. And so then you wouldn't
Yep.
have to worry about copyright issues. And so then just pull in something. And if you see a quote or a word you like, then just make something similar. And
Yep.
Canva super fast. And
Yeah,
they have-
Canva's
Was Canva, I thought that was one of them that you had to pay for. Is that, am I miss?
There is a free option.
There is?
Yeah, there's
I did not know that.
Yep.
Perfect. But
Canva's
Pinterest is we don't know. Pinterest is a iffy one.
Yeah. Ripple, I think that's an app that you can make cool content with, but they're charging now. But yeah, start talking to people in the office. And unfortunately, it's going to do though, it's going to get you out there. It might not be a super help for those listing agents because houses are moving so fast, but it's going to get you out there. It's going to we're not seeing a lot of people going and looking at listings. Like, you're supposed to be out there looking at, like, I think it's 10 listings a week just to kind of get a feel for your area. Still do that. That's huge. Get out there, look at houses, do those lives, obviously ask for permission to make sure that it's okay that you post that content, but it's a great way to get out there. And you're kind of working on your skills as well of showing a house. So, you know, you're not just saying this is bedroom 1, this is bedroom 2. You're looking for that cool stuff, and ask that listing agent, hey, is there anything that I need to know that would be really cool to talk about this house? So that's always a fun one too.
I have a quick question. You had mentioned earlier about how you can like have like a neighborhood and say, oh, this many homes have sold in the neighborhood. Where do you find that information?
So on MLS, you just hit solds on the right. And I usually do 0 to 90 days, just so the last 3 months I'm seeing. And then you can put the street it says like right at the top, it'll say within 1 mile. You can put a half a mile. Or you can even go into maps and circle an area, and it'll pull up all the solds for you in that area.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. And a really great class to take, if you guys haven't already, is the data class through MLS. There is so much data with the markets, Spark, Interest Spark, and all that good stuff on MLS. People that are really into numbers like that. So that's always a good one. Trying to think of what else.
And Crystal showed me a nice little video that you can make in designs or in campaigns that you can make specific for a city. And, and I didn't know about MLS. You could go to the solds, and that would have been so much easier. Yeah. But I found I did Bonnie Lake City.
Nice.
I found Pierce County's website, and they had all the statistics on it. So there's that too.
Yep. Very cool. Yeah, and like I said, call Crystal, you guys. She is just a plethora of information, and it's stuff that it takes 5 minutes to do now instead of trying to learn it. But yeah, everything that you guys touch or know data-wise is huge. And it's stuff that you can.
One thing I've been trying to sort of study up on is like getting to know the neighborhoods more, is not just like what sold, but I actually really want to know, like, how many offers did that house get? How much over listing did it sell for? And I have yet to find an easy way to get that information, other than if it's already, like, if it's sold and closed, you know, which obviously, you know, is a couple of months ago, it'll show, you know, listing price or original price, listing price, sold price, and then also days on market. So that's helpful. But I also really want to know, like, how many offers did they get? Because I want to be armed with that information when I'm talking to my buyers, you know, to learn how to make a strong offer.
Sometimes in comments, the agents will put that when they close out when they put a sold on the MLS, it'll say, you know, multiple offers.
Yeah.
Contact that agent.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have been starting to do. And I thought I could do that when they're pending, but most of them won't tell me. I'm like, oh, right, because it's not done yet.
Nope, not done yet.
Yeah.
And you can ask, was there multiple offers and did it go for over list? They won't tell you exact, but most of them will sit there and say, yeah, multiple offers over list. So you can come in with that information.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, so we did that. We did social media platforms. Like I said, some people it's iffy. Some people like a lot more. People want to know you on your social media sites. So really, you can take your personal, but make it business. Like I was talking about, like highlighting local businesses in town. Hey, we went and visited this great new place. We took out food. They were awesome. They were super sweet. You're not only, you know, marketing a small business, giving them help. You're kind of highlighting and becoming a community member in your area with a specialty. Hey, I can highlight all these areas around here. A neighborhood park is, I got tons of feedback from a neighborhood park I went to with my with the kids, and it was just like, they have the best slides here. Your marketing, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm always looking for somewhere new to take my kids, especially right now. Places if you fish, you know, just highlight things in your area, make it personal. So you're not posting new listings, data. People are like, yeah, whatever. We know you're in real estate. People want to see more about you, but you're still posting personal, but it's still business related, if that makes any sense. That's what right now, the majority of people's marketing is social media. That's where you're getting all your stuff right now. And in Command, under designs, you guys, there is some great marketing stuff to do. You can change up your tags. You can change up your stuff in your email tags. Cute little posts for Instagram and Facebook. If you have a brand, you can add that to it. It just takes practice, but it's so easy, and you can go back to them. So reuse them again, but change them up a little. But if you have your little depository of little things that you've created, add to it, minus it, play with them. And one great thing is too with the MLS is they have their market snapshot each month. You can take the data from those market things and make like a little slide for your area. And that's one thing, Morgan, that Crystal taught me how to do, is to take your market snapshot from the MLS and add it into your social media. And you can make slides, and it's super easy. It takes like 5 minutes, and it's your community, your area, or you can do like the whole East Side or whatever you want to do. But it really, like I did a Maple Valley one, and it takes all that data, and people are like, oh, wow, gosh, there's only 19 homes for sale in our area right now. Yeah, that's it. So, you know, if you want to sell, now's the time. So anyway, okay. So we are on page 13 of your guys' notebook. Kind of just strumming through. All right, so what we're going to do is we've talked about a bunch of lead sources, and I know we're in a different kind of market right now, but kind of pretend like it's a regular market and we've got access to everything. Go ahead and write down where you right now are getting your leads from. What are your top 10 lead sources, whether it be your community, your database, your church, your referrals? What are the top 10 places, if you guys could write down for lead sources, and list them from top to bottom? So like for me, my database is my number one. So go ahead and write down your top 10 lead sources. All right, I'll give you guys a minute to do that. They could be, you know, door knocking, calls to your sphere, agent referrals, FSBOs, open houses, social media, website, parties, community meetings, your kids' schools, yoga class. I mean, you know, it can be anything. trips to the grocery store. And being that you guys are all fairly new, you're all getting it from different areas, but this is just a mass dump of where you think you could get business. Okay, after you've got a couple there, look at your list and take your top, prioritize them. So you're going from top to bottom. So I guess we kind of did that in the list, but where so far have you gotten the most feedback for getting the most leads? So like for myself, it would be social media, open houses, referrals. I get a lot of referrals from past business because I take care of my clients after close, like we talked about earlier. Neighborhood chats. All right, then after you guys are done with that, you're going to look at your focus and write down your top 3. And that's where you feel comfortable right now being new in the business. What are your top 3? There's not a one size fits all for any agent. Everyone's going to be different. Some people are super social butterflies. Some people are more, you know, independent and safe. All right, does anyone want to share their top 3? Anybody? Or share your first one? Where do you think?
Database, Sphere, and referrals.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great place to start. And so when you're focusing on making your schedule, focus in that area. Do maybe 1 week with database, 1 week with Sphere. Check back in with those referral contacts. Don't try to do them all at once. Break it up. Baby steps. Susan, what about you?
Yeah, I've sort of been collecting this list for a long time. I have my Sphere, but I sort of have them in a lot of different categories. So besides just sort of people I know, like where do I know them from and why and what's their situation? So I can sort of group people together like that, but I'm still like, okay, why am I calling them other than just to say hi? One of my tactics is going to be asking for preferred vendors, like construction related things or home related things, right? So, and I don't have my script down yet, it's in my head, but like, one of the things I'm doing as a real estate agent in this area is like, I talk to a lot of people and a lot of times they need a good plumber or they need a good electrician. Hey, who do you know? Right. And then, building, I mean, sort of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Like it gives me a reason to call them, but also I literally want to build that vendor network and then develop relationships with that vendor. So that's one of my strategies. Another is I do have a lot of people that are just renters or they're younger that are friends that I know. So I'm kind of creating a strategy for that. Like, hey, did you even realize there are options that are probably within your reach you might not even realize? I'm starting to do this like first time home buyer, not that I'm gonna present the class, but like, you know, that kind of thing. So just like I'm trying to like group the people that I know into reasons to call them that, as we say, come from a place of contribution, not just, hey, do you want to buy? Right. So that's one thing. My other big thing really is going to be farming and searching for sellers in a pretty strategic way. So obviously that's completely different because I don't know those people yet. Right. So yeah,
that's great. I love your vendor list. Vendors are so important, whether it be roofers or plumbers or contacts with title and escrow, your mortgage brokers. That list of people is huge point of service for people. People are always looking. If you look at your Nextdoor website, they're always looking for someone. And if you're that voice for them that says, hey, they're going to come to you because you know.
Yeah.
So that's a great way of doing it.
And then the third thing I'm doing, like with people that I know, is that I know who are homeowners. doing that free equity report for them on a regular basis. Still really nailing down the tool to do that, because they think they can hop on Zillow. What's my home worth? We all know that's not necessarily accurate, right? So trying to like identify the best and easiest and quickest tool to kind of automate that right now.
That's awesome. Great job. So we have 5 minutes left. Did you guys want to break out in groups for 5 minutes and work on scripts, or do you guys just want to kind of do a question and answer thing, or what can I use? What can we do for this last 5 minutes that would be of service and help for you guys? I know this was my first class, so thank you guys for working with me on this. It didn't get to everything, but I tried. But what can I do? What kind of questions can I answer for you guys? Anybody?
We don't have like a running Google Doc for this group, do we? Or any way that we're like constantly sharing with each other? Don't you think that would be cool? Like, I'm just always brainstorming and trying to gather, because there's a million and one marketers out there that say this is the best place to get leads, right? I think it'd be really cool if we had this collective list of how are people finding leads, and just have this big list, and not just like call in your sphere, but actual some tactical things we could use, and everybody could just dump their ideas in there and we could share from it.
That's a great idea. To the Facebook website for your office, that's a great place to find tools too. That's a great place. Talking with people in your office, that's also a good thing. I would suggest to all of you to get an accountability partner, and that person can be someone you do scripts with. And it really, it's a time that you get on Zoom, talk with them for a half hour, and it's not social hour. It's just like, hey, sometimes someone's working through something, like I've got this offer coming up, there's 10 other offers, work with me on this, on how I can make this better. I find that those people for me are my lifeline, especially through COVID, since we don't have that office help, the office time anymore. And you guys being new to KW probably haven't got that family feel yet. I'm hoping you do. This company is wonderful. The leadership, Pam and Dennis, are amazing. All your leads are great. Use those people, talk to those people, create relationships. I mean, I've got 2 people in my scripts practice that I haven't even met yet. I reached out. I said, hey, you're new. Let's do scripts together. And I mean, if you see someone on this call, look them up. Say, hey, go into the chat. I know Chris that was in here, he made a suggestion to give him a call. So find someone that you can have that time and make that work, accountability work. Hey, you said you were going to call 10 people a day, or send letters, or have a touch 10 times a day. Were you successful in that? What can I do to be of help?
Accountability partner, or do they get chosen for you?
No, you could just ask, Susan right here next to you, hey, let's be accountability partners. And you find someone, like I went through probably 3 different people when I first came on. You find a niche with someone you have something in common with. You guys all came on about the same time, so you guys have a lot of learning to do together. You're going to see each other in these classes for the next couple weeks together. Create those relationships. Put your phone number in the chat room. Say, hey, I'm up for a phone call afterwards if anybody wants to get together. We're learning to reach out to people. Reach out to other agents. They are going to be a huge source of help for you, and create that relationship. You all probably have mentors. Find people in your office that you can ask questions to. It's huge. It makes a big difference. And then you don't feel alone, and don't be afraid to ask the questions. It's having those accountability partners to do stuff with is huge. And I know that I still contact my accountability partner when I'm getting ready to do a contract. I did this morning. I'm doing my class this morning. Talk to me, like she boosts me up, So it's someone that they know what you're going through, and it's really important to have. So I highly recommend you guys. You could even go on to your Facebook page and just say, hey, I'm new. I'm looking for an accountability partner. Anybody want to work with me? And do 2 days a week. And that way you're being accountable, you're showing up, and you guys are being able to learn together, which is great. Alrighty, guys. Well, hey, thank you all so much. And take my name, Jalegan. If you guys, I would love to help if you guys have any questions, and feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm here and I would love to help. And I'm excited to see you guys all do amazing things.
Thank you so much. You did great.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, guys. Bye.